Why do some brands just feel so premium? You see, we all had that same feeling where we click on a video, we see a person, and we instantly think they must be rich or they must know something I don't. Premium brands like Iman Gadzhi or Matt Gray or others who seem to have something more than just a pretty background. They've actually mastered something that most founders never even take the time to improve, which is the way they speak. But most importantly, the way they speak in a way that makes you want to pay 10 times more for the exact same information. So how do they do that? See, these people, they know exactly what they're doing because there are actually a few principles of communication that can create exactly what they want you to think. I call it the influence matrix. And it's this exact framework that allowed me to go from being bullied, rejected, socially anxious, addicted, to building an audience of over 70,000 people online, funneling them into a Skool community that became the #1 community in its niche. I get paid to speak on stages, coach hundreds of people, and all of this allowed me to live the life I used to manifest in my journal. Matter of fact, instead of doing the rest of the video here, what I'll do is I'll share with you a segment of a coaching call I had with a bunch of clients who hired me to help them with the art and science of influence. You'll see me cover the core 4 elements of the influence matrix one at a time and give specific examples of how you can use them starting today. It's usually only available for my paid clients, but I'm gonna be transparent with you. I'm here to win your trust. And I learned that the best way to do that is give away information for free that other people would charge for, because these people literally paid for that. All right, so with that being said, enjoy. I feel like I've uncovered basically the most important skill that we could possibly develop in life. The ultimate form of power as a human being. And what I'm talking about is influence. And you understand what I mean by influence. So today's mastermind is going to be about the power of influence. Now, influence. What do I mean by influence? My definition of influence is the ability to control behavior. The ability to control behavior. Now that can be in yourself, that can be with another person, or that can be one to many, and there's no limit to the scale that it could go. All right, so it can be you by yourself, you in a one-on-one conversation with someone, or what I'm doing right now, one to many. The ability to control behavior. Now, why is that so important? Why is that so important? Because if you want to get what you want, whether that is money, whether that is relationships, whether that is a better quality of life, you are a human being. You are fundamentally a social creature. You experience life through relationship with others. And there's a saying that goes, all problems are interpersonal problems. And I believe that. Because most of your problems, if you were alone on an island and no other humans existed, would just disappear. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. So we experience life and reality as human beings through interaction with others. So your ability to control behavior is how you create change, period. It's how you get results, period. What drives human behavior in its most fundamental form? Forget about all the bullshit, all the other woo stuff. If we really go to the deepest core, what drives human behavior? Boom, pain and pleasure. Moving away from pain, going towards pleasure. The reason we do what we do, the reason you take every single action in your day is because you've been either rewarded to do so with pleasure, with satisfaction, with happiness, whatever it is that you want to call it. So you either have been rewarded for that behavior or you've been punished for not doing that behavior. Okay? Reward, punishment, pain, pleasure. This is literally what drives all action. And I would even dive a bit deeper here. It's what drives your beliefs. It's what drives the thoughts you have. Why do limiting beliefs exist? They're not just there out of nowhere. They have a reason. They serve a purpose. It's because you, as a whole consciousness, and that's a very deep subject. I don't want to go into that right now, but like, let's say you, as a whole, with every single layer of you, have associated a certain form of pleasure to that limiting belief. It's serving a purpose. You've been rewarded for having it. Even the beliefs. Okay, but let's stick to the behavior for the purpose here. Okay? So, pain, pleasure, punishment, reward. That is literally the foundation. So if ever, bro, like, before we go into the cool concept I want to share with you today, it's a quadrant. I love conceptualizing things visually. But like, this is a reminder that I want every single one of you to realize. Oh, why am I not doing this? Or why am I always doing this? I thought I wanted to get in shape. Why am I eating all this fast food? Why am I not exercising? I thought I wanted to stop jerking off. I thought I wanted to stop watching porn. Why am I still doing it? I thought I wanted X. Why am I still not doing it? Or why am I still doing Y? This. So if you take control of that, you're good. Now, influence. Where the fuck? Okay, I always search for that. Influence, influence, influence. Y'all ready for some satisfying mental model of influence? So, like I said, you can have influence on yourself, on another person one-on-one, or on a group of people, one to many. Now, for the sake of that, when you're having influence on yourself, the principles are literally exactly the same as if you're having influence on someone else one-on-one. Literally. It is basically your deepest self, your awareness, your consciousness, having influence over your ego. That's what the game is, okay? So it's basically one-on-one. So you can have one-on-one here, and you can have one to many. That can be two people or the whole world, literally. Okay, one-on-one, one to many. And then you can have influence right here in the moment. I can get one of you to take action right now, or I can shape your behavior over time. And you can do the same thing with yourself or one-on-one. Okay, so you have short term. By the way, y'all can draw that for yourself, because the quality here I know is not the best. So I really advise you draw that for yourself, or at least you take some notes, because if you're not taking notes, what the fuck are you doing? Cool. Short term and long term. Okay, so for those of you who are wise enough to start taking notes, I basically broke it down into 4 quadrants, okay? So you have, put it here. Okay, 4 quadrants. You have one-on-one, one to many, then short-term, long-term. Everyone's following me so far? Cool. How do we call one-on-one influence with yourself or with another person on the short term? I call it persuasion. Persuasion. So that can be sales. Sales is a beautiful example of that. That can be sales. That can be, your first interaction with a woman. And you're trying to get her to give you her number or her IG, her Instagram, right? In a way, you are shaping her behavior. So in a way, you literally must associate more pleasure to her doing that than pain. And then when she does it, you must reward her for doing so by, I don't know, going on a beautiful date with her. And now she's like, oh my God, I want to be even closer to that guy. Then it goes more towards long term. Okay? But persuasion, getting someone to make a decision, that's persuasion. Okay? Long term, that someone can be you again. Long term, the word I chose here is mentorship. Now, I know it doesn't exactly apply to the dating stuff for that case, but whatever. Mentorship. It's one person that drives another person's behavior over a long period of time. Okay? You drive someone's behavior over a long period of time. Mentorship. Okay? Perfect example. You can be your own mentor. Hopefully you are. Okay. Now, one to many short term. Guess what that is? That's marketing. Again, marketing can be applied not only to business. Your marketing. You can market yourself in the dating world, for example. Or business, it's a pretty obvious example. What do marketing companies do? Tell me. Think about Coca-Cola. Okay, Coca-Cola. Their ads, what do they look like? It's always their bottle. And then it's young, happy people having fun. Maybe you have a feeling of something exciting is about to happen. Young, beautiful people. Hey, Coca-Cola. Ding! It's like, what do? They teach you to associate their brand, their bottle, which has nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, it's poison. It's literally poison. They teach you to associate that to sex, excitement, youth, happiness. They condition that over time. Remember pain, pleasure? They condition that over time to a lot of people. Okay, cool. Marketing. They get you to buy the bottle, make a decision. Okay, I'm done. Like, I see Coca-Cola, happiness, I want to be happy, boom, I make a decision, marketing. And then I gave the Coca-Cola example. It would have been good in the next one as well, which is branding. One-to-many long-term branding. Now what happens is, let's say marketing is like, okay, a marketing campaign. Let's get people to make a decision this one time. The Coca-Cola example might have been better with branding actually. So marketing is you get to make that decision one time. Branding is every time I see Coca-Cola now, in my subconscious mind, I associate it to pleasure, to joy. And therefore, it drives my behavior over a long period of time, long term. Okay, those are examples. But again, the foundation for influence in all of these quadrants is the ability to control behavior. Now, when you become a master at that, since human beings are social creatures, if you master influence, the world is your playground. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'm not saying I'm a master at influence to the level I want to be. I have stuff to learn. But the difference in my life between when I had zero social skills, I didn't understand psychology, I didn't know how to influence people, and now, it's radical. You can get what you want. You want money? Well, where does money come from? It comes from people. So you got to get them to make a decision. You want more women? Well, there are people. So you got to understand, again, how to make yourself be associated to pleasure for them. To make them want you. You influence. And you have a mission, a purpose. You want to make the world a better place. Well, how is it going to start? It's going to be people following you, people trusting you, people making decisions because of you. That can be used for the ultimate good, to create heaven on earth. It can also be used for hell, to create hell on earth. Like Hitler, influence, controlling behavior at scale. Got to influence people to follow his lead, making the decisions he wants them to make. But then you have Jesus on the other side, right? So it's like, this is the ultimate power, can be used for the ultimate good or evil. Again, if we stay in the dualistic world. Now, y'all noted that? Y'all staying with me? Okay, cool. I'm removing. Now, why does that matter to you? Well, every single person here on this call has a goal in life. They have some sort of vision. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing here? You could be watching Netflix, eating chips, or jerking off, right? You're here because you have a goal. There's something you want to accomplish. I want y'all to practice the pain pleasure thing. I want y'all to practice the 4 quadrants on yourself. I want you to practice reward punishment on how you can control your own behavior. Because the perfect example is sales. The most important part of sales, I believe, is congruency. It's state. It's you being so certain that that person in front of you making that decision will serve them more than the money they're spending. What they get back, it will be so worth it compared to the money they're spending, right? But in order to give that, you must be closed yourself. You must be congruent. So you must learn how to persuade yourself. You must learn how to influence yourself.